Perfectly excellent.
Hello, party people. Good evening, and welcome to another round of Perfectly Excellent. Good evening, Tim.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Today, I brought something special to share with you. My Texas mug.
Very nice.
Yes. Yeah. How's it going over there? It's been a week.
It's going okay. I finished putting together my Blalden.
Yeah. I saw you text me that. I do not. I was gonna Google it, but now maybe you could explain what are you talking about?
It's the Detolf replacement.
Oh, okay.
So I picked up one of those because I had a very specific corner of this room that was too small for a Detolf, but was too big to just leave empty. Like I can't have nothing there. So I bought a Blalden, and
okay.
I put that together, and it's very short. So I bought a step stool, and I put the step stool under it, and I put it on top of the step stool to get it raised up a little bit higher.
Really?
And it's small. It's small. I do not like it as much as the Detolf. It's got big, metal sides, so it kind of obstructs the view a little bit when you're looking at it from the side, especially if it's just on its own, which it is. If there's a bunch of them, maybe you don't notice it as much, but a singular one, I don't love it. But it's also noticeably tighter inside. Like I can fit less stuff in there. I had a hard time squeezing some of the risers that I wanted to use in there. Some of them just didn't fit, the ones that I used.
Sign of our times. IKEA just,
it's shrinkflation.
Yeah, shrinkflation, right?
Shrinkflation. So
you should have sent them a strongly worded letter.
But here's the thing:
on behalf of all collectors.
While I don't think it is a good replacement for the Detolf, like there's a value in it existing. Because again, I can't fit a Detolf there. If I could, I would have put one there. So yeah, so I did that today. And I also,
that's always a triumph, though. Before we go on, we should celebrate. Anytime assembling something for IKEA, we'll drink to that.
It is assembled. Not only is it assembled, everything that is going to live in it is now in it.
Oh, so it's assembled and placed and very nice.
Yeah, and it made room for some stuff over here, so I can start getting my Godzilla reaction figures a little bit more organized.
Right.
I was running out of room for those.
So you've been busy. Good for you.
Yeah. The other thing I did, which is not like a proper segment, because I refuse to waste any time making slides for this, but I did watch the Star Wars fan stream today. And oh boy, was that a depressing state of affairs.
Yeah, I unfortunately missed that one. I was tied up at work, and I did not go back to check it out. I did a quick skim through it, and it didn't look like new stuff. Is it all just old stuff? Nothing.
Okay. It's all repaints. It's mostly troopers, especially if you look at the vintage collection and the Black Series. It's mostly troopers. It's the Black Series. There wasn't a single new figure. Everything was a repaint of some sort. The only thing that was kind of cool is the vintage collection is doing a Cantina set, like the Sears mail away set. So they have like those. Yeah, they have those 4 figures with the cardboard, and they're painted in the vintage Kenner color scheme. But boy, oh boy, do the modern sculpts of Walrus Man and Snaggletooth look really stupid in that color scheme.
Oh, I'll have to take a look.
Yeah, and the Black Series stuff is just depressing. There's not even anything sort of cool like that.
Yeah, again, like I just skimmed through it, and I saw troopers, and that was it.
Bad. So yeah, not going to be a future segment because I have nothing to say other than dumb and boring.
Was that their May the 4th stream?
Yeah, which is I think what makes it depressing. Like I would almost have rather them flip-flopped what they did at Celebration and this. Yeah. But I don't know actually which is more important.
Yeah.
I don't have my Star Wars holiday ranking system fully in place yet.
Well, the other one is a Celebration, so this one is not even May the 4th. It's May the 2nd. So,
but what about you? What have you been up to?
I wish I had something interesting to say. Not really much going on. This was like a really rough week at work. So I'm kind of, we were talking earlier, and I was just saying I'm worn out. So I'm looking forward to talking about something that is not work.
Like perhaps maybe an invention exchange?
You know what? That's a mighty fine idea.
Thank you.
Perfectly excellent.
All right. Who's
All
going
right.
first? Oh,
wait. Like what is the whatever that was? But the Andor. Someone has to make the official rules for the Star Wars rock paper scissors because that was. Oh, you won. All right. I guess you go first. But that was a triumph. But we'll talk about
we'll talk
Andor
about that
much
later.
later. Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. Okay, so as you know, I like McDonald's.
I know
McDonald's
that.
stuff.
I've known
Big
that
fan of
about
that.
you for a long time. Yes.
Yeah. You certainly knew this, but it's not a frequent topic of conversation, so I'm not sure it's come up recently. But I'm also quite a big fan of Neon Genesis Evangelion.
We have not talked about that in decades.
Yes, but
Yes.
as you remember from the 90s when those were coming out on VHS, I was super into that show.
Yes.
Well,
I'm hoping these two are coming together. Like, please
isn't
tell
it
me these two come
interesting
together.
that McDonald's of Japan
Okay.
has done something with those two properties, with McDonald's and with Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Like both of them.
Do you remember? I think it was probably in the early 90s when there were McDonald's Happy Meal toys that were like chicken McNuggets that turned into robots and like
I have
fries.
the fries back there somewhere. Yes.
Well,
get out of here. Oh my gosh, this is huge. This is insane.
They have made 3 food items that turn into Evangelion robots. And they are gigantic. When this showed up, I could not believe how big these things were.
And I'm guessing you got this from Japan.
Yes. Well, I got it from eBay. But an eBay seller based in Japan.
This is wild. Okay, not an invention exchange I was imagining. That looks like a Big Mac. Medium fries. I wouldn't even say that. Well, if it's from Japan, I'd say those are large fries. Yep, large beverage.
So
but wait,
this is so much bigger than an actual Big Mac.
Oh, no doubt.
Not even funny. But
what is happening? Wait, we're missing it. Okay. Yep, not your typical Big Mac. All right, the fries open up. The legs, something's happening. It's folding back. Front is going down. I don't know
how to do it just yet, but yeah, we got another AV unit.
Amazing.
And
wait for it. Oh, and yeah. Well, wait a minute. This is what I'm calling foul on. Was this a real like transformation?
Well, yeah, I didn't do it all the way. It does. It
oh, okay. There's more. There we go. That's much better. I was like, otherwise he's just hiding in a giant cup. All right. Those are, I'm going to round of applause. Those are very, very cool. Not something I would have expected tonight.
I couldn't, once I found out these existed, I couldn't not get them. Now, my understanding is that in order to even buy these in Japan, you had to like enter and get selected in some sort of lottery thing.
Okay.
So I figured these were going to be just like absurdly expensive. They're really not that bad. I got it for $90 shipped.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were going to say the amount, but yeah, if you're under $100 for a box that big coming from Japan, that's a win.
And again, shipped. So yeah. Very excited. Now, I don't know where it's going to live because again, they're gigantic and they're also the robot mode is not entirely stable.
Oh,
so,
no, look at that.
Not sure where they're going to end up, but I'm very excited about them. I'm happy to have them in-house.
And that's a nice box. Like they actually look good in the box if you were to keep them that way.
Yeah, but the box takes up even more room.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm not usually an inbox guy, but that's a good looking box.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very good pickup.
How about you? What do you got?
All right. So as you know, I like to post lots of pictures of toys and stuff on Instagram. And every now and then, like a company will reach out and they'll be like, hey, here's a form letter. You know, we love your stuff. We want to send you our like weight loss thing. Would you love to partner on a collaboration? Like I get tons of emails about just spam, like stupid spam that I don't even really look at, you know, it's just quick delete. Well, one came into my inbox and I was reading it. It's like, hey, Alan, we like your photography. We'd really, and I'm like about to get rid of it. But the name was actually a brand that I follow, which is Cosbaby, which is a see these things. Am I losing? Because I just went out here. I might be frozen. You might be frozen.
Well, there's some technical possibilities going on Alan's side, I believe, right now.
Am I here or not here?
Again, we can hear you a little bit. Your video is currently frozen.
No.
The risks of a live stream, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my screen is kind of here. Let's try. Frozen or still frozen?
Oh, for me, you're still frozen.
Okay. I did tell you it was cold.
You did. Oh, and now Alan has left the building. So we're going to just give him a moment to reconnect. We were unfortunately having a little bit of these sort of issues when we both were testing this out before we went live a little bit ago. In the meantime, I will do a full transformation of Ava Unit 1, which has all sorts of fun little things.
All right, we're back, and we have the combination.
I barely got to even show off that the top of the bun, which isn't part of the system, it turns into like a little like radar.
That is
thing.
Very cool.
So anyway, just trying to kill a little bit of time.
No, good job. I'm glad there was still a gift that kept giving in there. So apologies, my internet is just having it. So I'll speed this up. So yeah, a company reached out, and it was actually, the first time a company that I was really interested in the stuff they make. The Cosbabies were tough to come by. Like there's a Beetlejuice one that I have that I had to import from somewhere, but they had a new series coming out of these Ewok bobbleheads, blind boxed. So I've been going through these, opening one, a day, and trying to get a photo of it. And why bobbleheads are not usually fun for photography, because they don't like to stay still. These things are just so adorable that I cannot get enough of them. And I'm learning. You probably know all these names. I should test you, because you know Ewoks much better than I do. But I'm learning a lot of Ewok names that I apparently never knew before. Like, do you know who this is?
No, I only really know the Ewok names of the characters that had figures originally.
Okay, yeah, and I don't think that one had a figure before, because that is Zeffy.
Nope, not familiar with Zephyr.
How about little speeder bike guy?
Speeder bike, that's Poplu.
Very good.
Yeah.
And I think that's all I've opened so far. Yeah. So I again, really cool, really psyched that they sent these. And they have a series coming out too of bobbleheads of just more Star Wars characters holding like balloons, like little balloon animals that are related. So I'm hoping to get my hands on those as well. But yeah, it's been fun. Balloons in the puppet show. Exactly. But yeah, again, they don't transform.
No.
They're not made of Happy Meals or anything,
but they do eat people.
They do eat people, which again, I think that could be a topic of conversation. I would like to talk about how Star Wars would have played out had C-3PO not been able to convince the Ewoks not to eat the rebels. Like, where would that have gone?
I saw some. I'm not taking credit for this because it is not my idea, but I saw someone online had posted something to the effect of, how did they have a complete and full change of clothes
for the dress? Yeah.
They probably obviously must have eaten another person and kept their clothes.
Yeah. Or they're just like amazing seamstress. They just did it on the fly.
It's possible.
Yeah. Why didn't they eat her too?
They were full. They had a big lunch.
Yeah, because again, Wicket does have his little. Oh, but this was Leia's snack, right? She gave it to him.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I guess he was kind of full up on that wafer. But yeah.
All right. Well, those are fun.
Yeah. Well, let's block like 8 hours to have that discussion someday. Of, what could have happened? Like imagine Darth Vader and the Emperor find out like what happened to Skywalker. A bunch of teddy bears just cooked and ate him. So
well, that you're then assuming that at no point would Luke have put up a fight, and I figure when they're about to put him in the fire, I'm sure he'd be like, all right,
All right.
I've let this go far enough.
Yeah, you know what? You make a good point because he did tell Han not to like kill them all.
Not to massacre everybody. Yeah,
But again, we could explore that avenue too
that's
because
true. That's true.
But we have other things to talk about today.
We do. Should we get to the main event of the evening?
Let's do it.
Perfectly excellent.
All right. So
this is your idea.
This is my idea. Well, it might have been. And when we were talking about things to discuss, this popped into my head. And what it is really things on the radar that we are looking forward to. And we're going to limit this to things that are coming out this year or happening this year.
Or at least are supposed to come out this year.
Or supposed to.
I want to give a qualifier.
You're right. They are supposed to happen this year. And I've been keeping this list for a couple of years because I think ever since COVID, I found it really hard to not be depressed all the time. And so I started keeping a list. I call it like a list of stupid things I'm looking forward to. Just, these are not life-changing events. These are just like movies, events, games, TV shows. So it gave me something to kind of like something exactly what it is, just to look forward to and help get over whatever the hump of the day was. And, I enjoyed doing it. So again, I do it every year. I try to get more sophisticated now where at the end of the year, I can do a wrap up of what my favorite things of the year are, but I'm glad we're bringing it here now. And I'm eager to compare my notes with your notes to see what is on your Mr. Radar for 2025. I think you said you had a tough time narrowing it down to 5, right?
What I tried to do was cover a broad range of my interests.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to just do like 5 toys or 5 records or something like that. I kind of wanted to pick and choose from a lot of things. But then when I started to do that, especially when it came to like some of the action figures, like I was looking through my pre-orders, and when I was looking at some of the action figures, it was tough to be like, oh, but like I've got a whole bunch of classified figures on pre-order, and I didn't actually end up putting any of them into the list because I used that space for something else. But I had a tough time narrowing down like the segments that I wanted to do. It was very easy for me to fill in the top or the 4 of the top 5, no problem. I kind of just slotted everything in there. But then I got to that 5th one, and I was like, I just don't know exactly what to put there. So I'm happy that you offered the honorable mention.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, always, anytime you do a top something, I think you need the honorable mention. You want it? So you want to start there with our honorable mentions?
Yeah. The way I had this set up, my honorable mention is the first thing up. So I'll take over here, and I did it again.
You did that again.
I did that last time too. I hit the wrong button. Here we go. So let me add you to the thing. There
Thank you. It's good to be here. We are, Mr. Screen Share, talking about Mr. Radar.
Talking about Mr. Radar. If I probably should have just done Mr. Radar in Mr. Screen Share, and we could have just kind of just kept going and going and going.
Could have. It's really a missed opportunity, but
like Ray in the cave.
Yeah. Let's try to let's pick ourselves up and try to move on.
All right. Well, my honorable mention is a record that has never been out on vinyl before. This Fig Dish album is an album I enjoy quite a bit. It came out 30 years ago this year.
Don't tell me that. That's crazy. That hurts.
Which is a little wacky. Fig Dish has always been one of those bands that I've liked quite a bit. As you know, they were very much kind of a Kings of the Used Bin sort of situation. I always feel like Fig Dish, Fluff, Flop, and the Figs are like the big 4 of the used CD bin in 90s record stores.
Yeah,
especially the F section.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like you might have just been staying in the F section. You need to move on. But I do not disagree with you. I might even throw Fret Blanket in there too as another F band.
That's a good one. But this album never came out on vinyl, and it was announced just a couple weeks ago that it's finally going to get pressed on vinyl for the first time. It's going to be a double LP blue vinyl. I'm very, very excited about this, but I put it in as my honorable mention because I've had this record for 30 years on CD. Yeah. So while I'm excited to put it on my turntable and listen to it, it's not like a brand new thing that I haven't experienced to some extent over the years.
Now, when you posted about this, I was not making fun of you at all. Because I love this record. This is a great record too. But I was surprised that 30 years later that there would be a demand that someone would have put this together to release it. I'm glad it's happening. Are there that many Fig Dish fans left in the world?
Well, I think they're a lot bigger in Chicago than they were in New Jersey. So I think you have that dedicated like local fan base. Because like I've run into several people from that part of the country that are also Fig Dish fans. That they're people who are about our age or maybe a little older or a little younger. But I also think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that they did release that like lost third album last year, and it must have sold well enough to warrant going back and doing some more.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully this one does that too, because I want that second or third record. I want the other major label record.
Yeah, and you make a good point. My opinion is probably tainted because I know the tri-state area version of this, and I remember going to see them at CBGB's. I think they played, and there was no one there to see them. And when I mean no one, there was no one that played. So. I think they were super, super bummed out about that when they played. But yeah, great band. I need to fire this up. I haven't listened to this in a long time. I did like what was the other band with the Tangerine Speedo? That was amusing. Caviar. That was amusing for some time. So cool. Well, great honorable mention. I think that's a good pick. When's it coming out?
Yes.
Perfectly excellent.
Yes.
Moving on. All right, so this was my honorable mention. And the reason I put this on is I think this comes out in June, the Switch 2, but I am not picking this up. And I don't think I will this year. Super big screen, and I'm happy enough my Switch, and the amount of games I play these days, like I have a backlog that'll last me until this Switch 3 comes out. So I wanted to get it because I'm excited about it. I'm eager to read about it, what all the reviews and what people are saying, and then we watch what Nintendo's releasing. Now, if there was a Zelda launch or something like that, it's day one for me. Nope. No. And I see I'm flickering, so I'm getting frozen again.
Yes, you are frozen again. We're getting a little bit of audio from you, so I didn't completely not hear all of that stuff. But
okay, cool.
Oh, and your audio is much better all of a sudden, although your image is still frozen.
That's I think that's a representation of how I feel inside, so that works out well. Yeah, that was
the Switch.
Go ahead.
Is that about the Switch specifically?
No, just in general in life. No, but I'm excited for this. I always get excited for new gear and gadgets. I always get gadget envy, but this time I think I'm going to sit on the sidelines till there's something that I need to play that's only available on this system, and then I'll see if I can get it then. So.
All right. Yeah, for me this is years down the line, maybe if at all. But yeah, I'm psyched for the people who are psyched.
Yeah, exactly. Again, my nephew is picking this up on day one. He's got his pre-order in. He's very looking forward to playing Mario Kart. I will play Mario Kart at some point, but it's not something that I'm rushing out to spend $500 on right now.
Understandable. All right, so you ready to break into the actual top 5?
Now, let me ask you, is your top 5 in order, or is it just?
Yes,
it is. I mean, yeah. I know it's numbered 5 through, but is number 1 your top pick?
Yes.
Okay, and I think I did mine as well. So
you gave me a ranking, so I put them in that order.
Okay, well that was yesterday's ranking. Let's see what today's ranking is.
All right, well we'll start off with my number 5, and my number 5 is a figure that has not actually been announced yet. So there is a chance that this might not come out in 2025.
We might need to go to the judges on that one. So,
but it has been highly speculated that the Masters of the Universe Origins line is finally going to get a vintage style Too Bad figure. There's very few vintage figures left that have not come out at some point. And this is the lone figure that is yet to be released in Origins that I had as a kid that they haven't made the new version of. Now, they made a version of this figure. They made a cartoon style version of this, but not the one that's more representative of the vintage toy. So I've been
And who is they that you're saying?
Mattel.
Okay, so this is from Mattel. And you think that if they announce it, it'll be coming out this year?
Yeah. Whenever they do their Masters of, because basically what they've done with the remaining vintage style figures is those always happen on Mattel Creations. And the Mattel Creations figures are typically not pre-orders. You typically order them and they usually ship in either a couple days or maybe a month. But they don't put them up until they're pretty much ready to go. All
right. Well, then we will allow it. Sounds good. Well, I hope it happens. You have to keep us posted on this one.
Yeah, I really want. I've been anxiously awaiting this figure for a really, really, really long time. I've got a whole bunch of Origins figures. They're all right here. But Too Bad was absolutely one of the ones that I really, really dug when I was a kid.
And that's his name, Too Bad.
Too Bad.
Yeah, I really get it. I'm so highly amused by the naming of the He-Mens.
It's the best.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go on. You're number 5?
Yes, Killer of Killers. So are you aware of this? Have you seen the trailer for this at all?
I got confused when you sent this picture over because I watched some trailer for a Predator thing that I believe was another movie. But that does not appear to be what this is.
No, you're thinking probably of Predator Badlands, which is a movie coming out in November, or at least I think it's coming out in November. This is a series on, was this on Hulu? I can't remember right now.
Yeah, it was on Hulu.
Okay. And it just, if you haven't seen the trailer for this, definitely go back and take a look at it. It looks awesome. It shows, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a trailer, right? How much can I really spoil it?
Yeah.
It shows like some samurai type warriors like preparing and squaring off against a predator. It just looks really, really interesting.
And this is a cartoon, right?
This is animated.
So it's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's a cartoon. No,
okay.
It looks really awesome. And I'm psyched for having a series to see where this goes. So.
All right. Well, hey, I'm usually a pretty big fan of the Predator stuff, even though they've had a lot more misses than hits over the years. Mm-hmm. When it hits, it's usually really good.
What did you like Prey?
Yes, very much so.
Prey was awesome. I even liked the one before that. I think
The Predator, I think it was called, or
The Predator.
The one with Adrian Brody when they go to the planet. That one's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, they're good then.
Yeah,
just no more Predator versus aliens. Who wins? We all lose, kind of things.
Yeah,
so those are bad.
Those are terrible.
Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to this. So, number 5.
All right. Well, here we go to number 4, which is a rare movie for me. I'm not looking forward to a whole lot of movies. There's movies that I will see, but nothing I'm really, really chomping at the bit at, other than Nobody 2. Now, Alan. I've been trying to get you to watch Nobody 1 for a few years now. For some reason, you flatly refuse to watch it.
It's not that I refused. I remember like looking at like movies on my phone. I'm like, I had this and I totally forgot where it came from and what it was. And then I talked. I'm like, oh, that was the one. Remind me what Nobody is.
Nobody is the story of a fellow who at some point worked for some sort of government agency, like a badass government type of assassin-y sort of situation. Okay. And then he just kind of just goes back to like a normal life, like working and blah, blah, blah. And then he just gets pulled back into some chaos. And the movie, there's some sort of loose affiliation with, or maybe not loose, but there's an affiliation with like John Wick. Like I think maybe the director worked on John Wick movies as well.
I like the John Wick movies.
I like Nobody better than I like the John Wick movies a lot too, but I think Nobody was better than that. To the point where even my wife thought that it was an incredible movie.
Is Keanu in it?
Keanu is not in it. Bob Odenkirk is in it.
Okay, well they're kind of
they're pretty much the same.
Yeah, they're comparable.
So I've been waiting for this to come out for quite some time. I'm not sure exactly when it comes out. I think it's like maybe August, September, something like that. But this is one of those movies where I don't go to see movies in the theater very often at all. I will absolutely be going to see this one.
All right. I will have to make sure I watch Nobody 1 first. So before this
Mhm.
comes out.
Yeah, stop stop refusing my
Yes.
recommendations.
Yes. You said that and I scoffed and I said, nah, who wants to watch nobody? Nobody
Historically
wants to watch.
historically over the years, I have really had to lean on you to watch some of the things that I've wanted you to watch. And I feel like my success rate is extremely high,
Mm.
but you still often take an awful lot of convincing.
Yeah, it's more just laziness and time that's an issue. Like, it takes a lot for me to, okay, I'm going to sit and watch a movie. The best time I could do it is when I'm traveling, for work. That's usually when I get caught up on, hey, here's a movie I can watch. So,
Well, top of the list.
nobody. Okay,
Nobody.
you got it.
All right. What's your number 4?
So, speaking of movies,
Ooh.
and speaking of, you said Predator had lots of kind of misfires. Tron still very near and dear to my heart, but I feel like just kind of hasn't gotten a break. Like the the recent movies I thought were okay.
Was there more than one? I
I
thought there
don't
was just
know.
that one, wasn't there? Like, was it Legacy or something like that?
It feels like there's a lot. Like it feels like there's been a lot more bad than good here, but I don't know. But this one, judging purely by the trailer, has my interest.
Mm-hmm.
It looks I like the kind of dark and gritty. I want to understand why they're in the real world and how all of that happens, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to another Tron.
All right. Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, I love that first movie. It
Mm.
is definitely one of my favorites. I thought the second movie was fine as a
Yeah.
movie, but the problem I had with the second movie, which is sort of a similar feeling that I'm getting watching because I watched the trailer for this as well, is it doesn't really feel like Tron. It feels way too dark,
Mhm.
and that's not what I want out of Tron. I want the bit. I want I want a little
Little
I want
humor.
I want some whimsy in
Sure.
Tron, and the other one was really dark, and this one's also feeling kind of dark to me.
Yeah, I get that. I just want something good,
Hmm.
whether dark or light and whimsical. I want it to just be good.
What about just a little cream?
A little bit, yes, a little bit. Again, I find it highly amusing that Disney has a Tron coaster because I feel like it's such um, a weird movie, and like I guess I appreciate them keep kicking the tires and keep trying with it. But I have high hopes for this one. Again, there's not a lot of movies that I see in theaters. This one is depends what life is like. When does this come out? This is coming out in October.
Yeah.
So
I'll come with you if you go.
okay, cool. So
All right.
Tron
So
Ares.
my number 3 happens every year. And it's the New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax Tournament, which is a round robin tournament that takes place pretty much for a full month.
Okay.
There's usually about like 19 different shows where there are usually 2 blocks of 10 wrestlers. And within each block, a round robin tournament is where wrestler 1 wrestles the other 9 people. Wrestler 2 wrestles the other 9 people. And then that happens in the second block. And then the winner of those 2 blocks, based on a win-loss record, face each other. The winner of that match faces the champion at the Tokyo Dome show later, early January. So this is typically when the best pro wrestling of the year happens. Every
And when
year,
is this? What month?
It starts at the end of July.
Okay.
Every year, it's fantastic. I can't imagine that it won't be fantastic again this year. I'm looking forward to it, especially because I'm feeling kind of less enthused about professional wrestling than I typically do. Less enthused than I typically do right now. And I'm really looking for something to kind of jumpstart my interest in it again. And I think the G1 Climax is just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah. Can you explain the eco and clean? Because that's super interesting there.
I believe that is just a sponsor.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's very disappointing because I thought it was just describing the event, that it's very like,
No, I think it's YIT presents the New Japan G1 Climax.
All right, very cool. Yeah, I'm amazed at like the Japan wrestling stuff. Like you were into this eons ago, and then like it's now I see it from random people like on my feeds and stuff that freak out about this. So I guess you're onto something. But a month-long event sounds like a good time.
Yep, it's pretty much it's usually between like 19 and 21, 3-hour shows that happen multiple times a week for a month. It's
How do you
wonderful.
watch this?
Every night.
But is it broadcast? Like, where do you actually
Yeah,
see this?
I subscribe to a basically like a streaming network called New Japan World, and all of the New Japan shows are shown on that
All right.
service.
Do you watch it live or you have to wait for
No, because
Yeah.
they air at like 3 a.m. So
All right, cool.
I usually don't go on the internet for the entire day, and then I watch them at night. And then right before I go to bed, I'm trying to scroll through an entire day's worth of internet and then go to sleep and then do it all over again.
Awesome. Well, good luck to you. I hope the best man wins. Or
Me
who's your favorite to win?
I don't know. Well, who's my favorite that I want to win, or who do I think's going to win? Because I don't know who I think's going to win.
Okay, then who would you like to win? Who's your favorite?
Zack Sabre Jr. is my favorite wrestler, and he won last year, so he's probably not going to win this year. But that is who I would like to see win. Back to back for Zach.
All right, good luck. Best of luck to you. We'll check back in on this one.
All right.
Number 3 for me is Borderlands. So Borderlands is a video game, and Borderlands 4 is the 4th numbered game in the series. Now,
you said numbered, like that doesn't mean it's actually the 4th game.
It is not actually the 4th. There is a non-numbered Borderlands game, which for some reason the name is escaping me right now. I didn't really spend a ton of time in that one, but these games, these are my happy place. Like, these are fun games. Oh yeah, no, totally. It's all about being happy. It's a looter shooter, which means you run around and you shoot things and then you get new loot and you get you basically just get better guns and then you keep shooting things, bigger bosses, get better guns. And the gimmick with this game is I think they said there's over like a bajillion guns in the game, and they're so bizarre and random. Like, one screams when you shoot. Like, sometimes you could just throw them and they grow legs and they'll just run at people and start shooting. It's a lot of fun. It's very, very juvenile humor, which sometimes is a little cringe worthy, but other times is mildly amusing. It just plays great. So it's a lot of fun. And I've sunk so much time into these games, especially Borderlands 2. I've bought that on just multiple times on multiple consoles and played through it. It's like a comfy shoe.
Is this the game with the little like Wally looking trash can guy?
Indeed, it is the game with Claptrap, the little robot. It is the game that they recently made the movie about, which was not as terrible as the internet would lead you to believe. Not a good movie, but certainly not worth the hate that it's got. I've seen much worse movies, but yeah, it's a good time. So this one I think is coming out September, maybe like late September, October. So yes, I will most definitely be picking this up. I will probably buy it on the Xbox and then stream it to play handheld on the Steam Deck, because I don't really get to sit in front of the TV and play games too much these days. But yeah, looking forward to this one. Should be a good time.
All right. Well, moving on to my number 2. It's going to be the Captain Crook Slide McMiniature, which is done by on Instagram. He's Dustin Cropsboy. On YouTube, he's Dustin Cropsboy as well. His website, he has Sugar Frosted. He also has times8.biz. I'm not sure which name he prefers to use, but he's been making a whole bunch of miniature versions of McDonald's playground equipment. I have been waiting for him to finally do the slide for such a long time. Like, the slide and the Officer Big Mac jail, to me, are the two most iconic pieces of McDonald's playground equipment. He made the jail already. I've got the jail on my shelf. You can't see it, but I got this whole section right here are all of the various McMiniature playground equipment pieces that he's done so far. I have every single one of them. Cannot wait for this one to come out. And I've been speaking to the person who designs these, and we may actually be able to have a conversation with him at some point. I'd very much like to do that.
Yeah, that would be good, because you got to get behind the mind of someone who's churning this stuff out.
This is my absolute favorite thing that's happening right now. Like, these pieces coming out over the last couple of years, this is absolutely my favorite thing that I'm most interested in. Even though it's not my number 1 on my list, but I'm super, super, super stoked for this.
Yeah, this is this is wild. I mean, it looks amazing, and I've seen the ones that you have already. This guy he's no slouch.
No, he does incredible work. So, all right, what do you got for number 2?
I don't remember. Let's go to number 2. Hey, look at that. I've got Universal's Epic Universe theme park. So, you may know I'm a big Disney fan. I like going to Disney World.
But this isn't Disney. This is
not Disney.
This is Universal. This is
Universal.
Next door,
it is right? Next door. Yeah. And I have not been to Universal in quite a long time. I want to say it's maybe 10 years, maybe a little less. But I'm very excited to check this out. This is, again, this is their 3rd theme park, which has all of these different lands. It's got Super Nintendo World, Dark Universe, the How to Train Your Dragon land. I'm excited. I like theme parks. I like Super Mario
really
Brothers.
Excited about the Isle of Berk.
I actually am. I do really like How to Train Your Dragon. I do have that movie on my list, the live action remake, and I am excited to see the Isle of Berk. I like Toothless. I like the designs of all the dragons. I like the Dark Universe, the classic Universal monsters. The one thing on here that I know probably the least about is Harry Potter with his Ministry of Magic. But again, I like the theming. I like being able to walk into an area that's well thought out, that's designed well, that just immerses you, makes you feel like you're stepping into these different lands or these different, whatever they are, movies or so on.
Is the Nintendo one going to be kind of set up like the one in Japan that I've seen on the internet? Yes.
Though it does. I don't know if Japan yet has the Donkey Kong Land expansion, which that will be here. And I don't know. I don't think we will get to this year. This opens in May, I think May 22nd. And it's on the radar, on Mr. Radar. The kids are interested in it because Super Nintendo World's a big draw. So we've been watching videos, trying to get the lay of the land and figuring out, maybe this year if we end up in Florida, which we typically do to visit my parents, if we'll go and spend a couple days here. Now, I have my nephews. 2 of my nephews are going in a couple weeks to check it out. So I'll wait for their report. But I know it looks like a good time. And I talked about this list before, like stupid things I'm looking forward to, things that kind of help your brain escape from the day-to-day. And theme parks are a heck of a way to do it. Just to be able to step in there, take in the sights, the smells, the sounds. So, yeah, all right. This is a big one.
Well, here we are.
We are here.
This is number 1. Now, I want to warn you, I cheated a little bit.
Oh,
I apologize. No. I sort of, it's a kind of a double header that doesn't really have anything to do with each other, but they're both shows that I'm looking forward to going to see. So my number 1 is a split between the Deltron 3030 25th anniversary tour, which I will be going to the Philadelphia show in October, because I've learned that going to Philadelphia is significantly easier than going to New York, even though as the crow flies, I am closer to New York. Mm-hmm. So Deltron 3030 is a group made up of Kid Koala, Dan the Automator, and my favorite hip hop artist of all time, Del the Funky Homo Sapien.
Oh, look at that.
Their first album came out 25 years ago. Absolutely stellar album. They're going to be performing the full album on this tour. I've never seen Deltron live. I saw Del play in the early 2000s at SOBs in New York City, long time ago. Mm-hmm. But I never saw Deltron when they played, so I'm really, really looking forward to that. That's a big one. The second one is another one of those things that has not actually been announced yet. Ooh. So there's always the chance it doesn't happen.
You got a couple that you're banking on this list.
But typically every year, Rocket from the Crypt will do a Halloween show in San Diego. Rocket from the Crypt being my favorite band of all time, a band who I have seen nearly 40 times at this point. Their Halloween show is a big deal every year. And in addition to just, loving that band more than pretty much anything that's not living, I have a lot of friends that go out for that. So I also get to see people who I've known for a really long time that I really don't get to see at other times. Awesome. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the band play. I'm also really looking forward to seeing some friends that I don't see too often.
Hey, I can totally relate to that. So yeah, I see how you can put these both as your number one. I think we'll allow it, right?
Yeah, they're both shows. And which again, this is probably two of the only shows I will go to the entire year. You know, you and I both come from a background where we used to go to multiple shows a week when we were younger. I go to maybe a few shows a year at this point. And the fact that I'm this excited about two of them is kind of a rarity. So, but I'm really looking forward to these.
And when do you think the Rocket show will be announced?
They usually gets announced around the end of August.
Okay, cool. Hey, these are definitely two amazing things to have on the list to look forward to. And you said are they both October? Yeah, because October 3rd. So beginning of October and then the end of October.
Plus, you know, you get a little mini vacation to San Diego, which doesn't suck.
It is. It's been a long time since I've been out there. So definitely, yeah, good times. Awesome. That is a solid number one. Well played. Well played.
All right. And your number one is also a trip.
It is. Yeah. So yeah, to Whippany, New Jersey, of all places. But I will build on what you were saying for the Rocket show. Well, it's a little different because Legions is the Mythic Legions con, put on by Four Horsemen. It's thankfully in New Jersey, so doesn't require a plane ticket. And despite just spending $500 on a dragon pre-order, I will still say I'm not a huge Mythic Legions fan. Like I buy a few, but they're mostly for background characters for, links to fight when I'm taking photos and things like that. But this, like your Rocket from the Crypt show, is an opportunity to see people that I don't get to see often. Unlike you going to San Diego, though, they all come to New Jersey, which makes it a lot easier for me. And it's just 2 days of just hanging out, looking at like really, really amazing custom things, custom figures, accessories that you can purchase at the con, and just hanging out and catching up with a bunch of like your nerdy friends from the internet. So good time. I'm looking forward to hanging out. It's always a lot of fun. And again, like I said, there's amazing things to look at there. Some of the customizers that they sculpt and paint parts that you can get so you can make really unique figures with your Mythic Legions. And I think that's why it has such a big following is it's not a figure that you buy off the shelf and you keep it. You can make it your own. And there's so many different things you could buy and pick up to help it along the way. Plus they have fun things. They have their Mythic Legions armory, which they did last year, which I hope they do this year, where it's kind of like a Build-A-Figure. You go through and you pick out your parts, your legs, your arms, your torso, your helm, or whatever you want, and you can build a custom figure. And then, I'm looking forward to a good time and just hanging out. This year, I want to try to get there Friday night where they have, I think it's called G-Con, which is all part of this. I've missed it the past few years, where they make all the announcements and they show off some new stuff. And again, it's just another night of hanging out. And I think a lot of people will be heading out this year for it. So November 8th to 9th, the Whippany, New Jersey, Hanover Marriott. See you guys there.
I've never been. Again, I'm not a big Mythic Legions fan, but we have talked about perhaps me tagging along to this one. Because I think I'm pretty sure I know some of the folks that are going.
You definitely would know a lot of the folks there. Mr. Dad will be there this year.
So there you go. But also we talked about perhaps maybe trying to figure out some recording possibilities while we're there. So yes. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
And there will definitely be opportunities. Yep. So we got time to plan it out. Not till November.
A little bit of time. Yep. So I think that was awesome. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you that you are excited about. I think we both have some things to kind of help us get through the year. The one thing that jumps out at me for, I think, both of our lists is I don't think any of that stuff is happening all that soon. So it seems like there's a lot in like the fall where most of that stuff seems to be going down.
Yeah. Killer of Killers is June.
Okay.
So soonish, but yeah, Legion's you're right. It's October. I think Borderlands was late September. Yeah. October. You're right.
I think nobody's in August, so I think that might be the earliest thing on mine. Although, again, too bad coming out. We don't know when that's going to happen because they just sort of pop up here and there.
But I think that's a good thing, though, because, again, it keeps you looking forward. You want something to look forward to towards the end of the year. If it was recent. Well, I mean, I would have put Andor on the list.
Of course, but we can't because it's now. And, I've got things to keep me busy right now. I don't and Andor is one of them. Now, we were going to talk about Andor, and we still can, but before we go into it, I will just point out that we are 50 minutes in.
Okay.
Do we want to go for it?
I think 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes to do this.
I don't know. 10 minutes is tough. So everybody,
or do you want to save it for next time?
We could, but then we have to talk about 9 episodes worth of stuff.
But then that I think would be an hour at least.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. So I'm gonna leave it up to you. I mean, we don't have to stop at an hour. The news isn't coming on. There's no show after us.
Well, why don't we start? You want to start with the first 3 and see how we do with those?
I think we can start there. All right,
Okay.
Everybody, we're going to talk a little bit about Andor, starting with the first 3 episodes. We will not talk about the second 3 without giving a warning, but let's give a first warning for the first 3.
Perfectly excellent.
All right, so no holds barred. We can
Sure.
talk about anything. People have been warned.
Spoilers.
There'll be spoilers afoot.
Yes. First 3 episodes.
First 3 episodes.
We did a non-spoiler talk about this, but I'll start by
which I watched back, and it's highly amusing how we try to dance around saying anything.
There will be no dancing today. We will be saying. But I want to start by saying I think in the first 3 episodes, since we're just focused on that, every character, every actor, the dialogue, like everything is just spot on and delivers. And again, my complaint is that I just want more. Like I want this story to be stretched out. I'm really bummed that the way they're doing it with the time jumps and everything, but we won't talk about that since we're talking about these 3.
Yeah, it starts off in a good place. Like I thought the opening scene where Andor is hijacking that fancy TIE fighter, that was really cool. I liked the dialogue between him and the person who is helping him, who needs 12 minutes to get out of there. I thought that was all really cool. The crashing around stuff was a little bit hokey, but it was also very, very exciting.
Yes.
And it's explained later that he was expecting to go in with and fly something different. He wasn't trained. It's just, unfortunately, I think it took 3 episodes for them to give us that nugget. So you're wondering for a while why he was so incompetent and unable to fly that thing at first.
Yeah, you're right. Because it's not until the end when he makes the radio contact.
Yeah.
And he's complaining like, I wasn't trained to fly this ship.
So it would have been, I think that's a little bit of context that would have been helpful in the first episode. Like, even if it was just him kind of sitting down and going, what is this? Like talking to himself or something. Again, that's a little hokey, but I didn't know why he was having such a hard time with it.
I picked it up though. Like when he walks on the ship, and I'll have to go back. I think doesn't he kind of look around like what?
Well,
like,
because he can't find the seat. Yeah.
Yeah. But that gave me the idea that he had stepped into something that he's not expecting. And then again, when he pushed the thing forward and it reversed, I figured, all right, something's amiss here.
Yeah, he should have known it was Goofy Foot.
Yes, it was definitely Goofy Foot, or he should have just flipped it around like in Independence Day, right? The little note they had on the dashboard. Yeah, I thought that was a lot of fun. I was disappointed, and maybe we'll see more of it in the future. Like I wanted more of that. Like, why did he steal that? And
yeah. And again, the time jumps create some issues because, like, you and I were talking about this again. It's like, okay, so he steals this really sophisticated, advanced piece of technology. He gets into a fight with Clea about not being able to fly it and about how, blah blah blah. But then we don't get the resolution. Like, you're not going to talk about this a year later.
And you're
going to talk about it that week. I want to see the interaction with him and Luthen, with him being annoyed about the situation that he got put into. So there was a lot of stuff about that I really, really, really wanted more of. And that's going to be a recurring theme as we talk about it.
I think that's a good complaint. But that's a good complaint to have about a show, right? That you just want more.
It is, but it isn't. Like, what more could they have done with that year's worth of stories?
At least 3 more episodes, I think.
Yeah, because there's a lot. There's pieces like that. There's, hey, they ended up on Yavin. That was interesting, but they didn't really talk about that at all.
And talk about the idiots that they ended up with on Yavin.
Those idiots were
Yes, with the rock papers. That was hilarious though. When they're like, "That's it. Whatever we're gonna Rochambeau or whatever they said they're gonna do," and they're just like, "Ah." But yeah, I wanted to like, yeah, a little backstory of, and maybe it will all come together. Maybe we'll see like who these people were. My takeaway is that they were, they were just really needed leadership. They needed organization because left to their own, they were kind of just they were idiots.
Yeah, but it's a weird thing because they were also very obviously like rebels, and they say that they're rebels. And
yeah, we've been supplying you guys. Yeah,
yeah, but okay, so you're supplying idiots. That's good to know.
And Saw even made a comment. I don't know if it was, I guess, last season of Andor about that group. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it would have been nice to know like what happened, how did they get there, why are they stranded, but he just left them. I think that's it. Goodbye.
Yeah. So then we got all the stuff that's happening on the wheat planet with Brazo and Wilman and
which was disappointingly not Lethal. I thought for sure from the trailers that's what it was going to be, but
yeah, no, it was just it was the General Mills planet. Apparently.
Yes, exactly.
So and again, I liked that storyline. I thought they handled all of that stuff in a really serious way. I was really bummed to see Brasso. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I was bummed to see him go down like that. Yeah, I like that character a lot.
He was a good guy. That was very disappointing. But I did like before he went out, how he kind of gave the guy who was helping them out like like an alibi, right? When he said, "Oh, you sold us out," and you could see that guy, the actor was great. It's just like, what? Like he was about to say, I didn't do this. What are you talking about? This wasn't me. But he really said, and then he gave him that subtle nod. But yeah, he was a great character. He was, Cassian's friend from back home who seemed to help him out of a jam multiple times. So bummed to see him go. Brasso.
Yeah. But it was cool when Andor finally came back and started mowing people down with the TIE fighter. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I don't remember the droid's name.
BMO?
BB, whatever.
B2 emo or something like that.
They left him behind.
Yeah. And he's such he's a really emotional droid. I feel bad for that guy.
So I'm like, well, now what? Where is he?
And spoilers, a year later, they still haven't gone back for him.
What are you doing?
As far as we know.
What are you doing? But they leave him behind, and that made me sad because he's a droid that he needs an emotional support human.
He does. Amazing. They gave that droid such a unique personality like that. But it's endearing and it's great. But unfortunately, yes, he's left behind. So hopefully we can see some conclusion to his arc. They'll go back and get him.
So, but no, and I liked all of the Mon Mothma stuff. Was really cool. I like that that Luthen and Clea were there for at least a chunk of it. Mm-hmm. I know her buddy Tay. Yes. That was interesting. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see him freaking out and becoming a risk for everything.
And he had that great line to her, like he's something about like, ironically, it's the rebels who are like ruining my business.
Yeah, and they get I don't know the actor's name who's playing Mon Mothma, but man, she is so great at like subtle things, like especially like subtle digs, like being disingenuous in a way that I don't know, that there's all of that like knife that's like cutting whenever she speaks. Like she is tremendous at this role.
Genevieve O'Reilly, is that her name?
I'm very bad with people's names. But as you know, I have my cheat sheet just of the characters' names.
But yeah, again, her dialogue is great, but her delivery is flawless. Like flawless victory. Everything she says is like you're hanging on every word of the dialogue that's happening because it's all just so nuanced with and especially like you liked Luthen's line, what he says to Mon Mothma.
So when he tells her that like, that's it, he's done, we got to get rid of this guy, he's become a risk, and she goes to him like, I don't know what you're saying, and
like he pauses, right?
He pauses and you like I caught it more the second time. He just does this look like this, like how nice for you.
Yeah.
that is the best line in all of Star Wars.
That hit hard. Like that whole conversation where she's like, she thinks there's some magical number, like some money that they could give him, and then the problem will go away. And Luthen is like, no, you know the number. It's never going to go away. He's always going to be a liability, a risk. And that's when, I don't know what you mean. He's like, how nice for you.
Yeah. And then she went and decided to go hate raving,
which was great. And did you see Star Wars uploaded an hour video of her just dancing? Or maybe it's even longer. I thought it was an hour. And it's just her dancing. Like, it's amazing. I love when they do stuff like that. But I think we all felt that. Her just like letting loose all the pressure and all of everything that they've got going on. And again, this is why I would like more. Like, I would love to know more of how did she get involved with Luthen? Like, what is Luthen's backstory? Like,
I want a whole series about that guy. Like, Luthen is my favorite character in all of Andor. Like, I think he is so tremendous. It's such a good character. And I want a ton more of him.
Yeah. And that's the thing. The show has such great characters because I love Luthen. I love Dedra, which is crazy. Like, and what's his name? Cyril?
Cyril, you say?
Yeah. Like, they're all great.
The actor who plays Dedra has the best facial expressions I have ever seen in my entire. She should be a pro wrestler with how great her facial expressions
like that scowl when she's just standing. Yeah, it's amazing.
She's out of this world.
And and if you watch any of the interviews with them in Celebration, you could see that is not her at all. So it's again, just quality. And even am I saying his name right? Cyril? How do you say his name?
Cyril, yeah.
Cyril. Like, even the actor who plays that guy, he's a little similar in the way he speaks to his character, but just what a great like performance from all of them.
Yeah, they have a really good dynamic. And when Cyril cuts down, I'm sorry, when Dedra cuts down Cyril's mom.
Was that in the first three?
Like that speaks to me in ways.
But wait, was that in the first 3 episodes or in the
it was at dinner. It was at dinner.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it was in the first 3.
It was at dinner. I'll explain how that would have been impossible to be in the second 3 in just a minute.
Okay, yeah. Because again, I've watched them back and forth and gone through, so it's all one thing. But yeah, that dinner when she's like, yeah, here's my plan. Oh wait, that gives you the illusion that you have a choice in this, and I don't want you to have that. Like, everything was really something.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. But I think, do you want to go on to 2?
No, I think we need to save. Oh wait, you're saying episode 2?
No, we did the first 3. The second set of 3 episodes.
No, I think we're gonna have to save those for next time. So
all right, I can do it.
Yeah, it's getting a little long in the tooth for me to keep going tonight.
All right,
but I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to watch more. But it's in the how many episodes do we have? Do we have 12?
There's 12 in total, so only 6 more left.
That sucks. That really sucks.
Yeah.
Like, the best thing to happen to Star Wars, and
it's good stuff.
I'm going to write a strongly worded letter.
Written only by natural light.
Yes, that's right. Oh, hey, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad they're doing it. Never in my wildest dreams did I think we would get something like Rogue One, and then to get even more now of this stuff. This is awesome. So.
Yeah. And it's one other thing, like I was saying before, that like I wish the newer Tron things were a little bit more lighthearted. They seemed a little dark. I think that this Andor stuff is appropriately dark without being depressing. There are still moments. There are still moments of joy. There are still moments of excitement. There are still moments where, you just laugh because somebody just cuts someone down with just like
the dinner. The dinner was just like, I was like jumping around. I'm like, I couldn't believe what was happening. And the crazy thing to me is I normally hate stuff like that in Star Wars, like a little personal scene, a little dinner, something like that. That's not, I mean, that sounds weird, but I like the dirty, strung out Star Wars part of it. When you see people like relaxing and enjoying a normal day is when I get like a little antsy, but that was so well done and so perfect. Even everything like the wedding with all the tension, like you said, Tay, and there's a long cut of Mon Mothma like spotting someone. I think she sees Luthen, and then she walks down, and her whole walk where she meets everybody, just everything has me on the edge of my seat. So I'm super fired up on this show.
It's good stuff. I want more. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more.
I think they could have done 2 seasons. Just shoot them back to back. Give us 24 episodes.
Yeah, I don't know. But very good stuff. As was this conversation with you today, Alan.
Good to see you. Good way to kick off the weekend. It's funny talking about our list of things has changed my mood. I think when you and I connected, like right after work, I was like not super plussed, but now I'm feeling. We talked about. I mean it. We talked about things we're looking forward to. We talked about Andor. So again, a good distraction from the rest of the noise out there in the world.
And hopefully this was a distraction for some other folks as well. So feel free to do all the things that you're supposed to do. And
smash the like button.
Don't do that. Don't ever say that. Don't ever say that.
Or just I get it wrong. I think it's smash the subscribe button. You guys smash something.
Stop. No, don't do anything. Just do whatever you want, but just watch it. That'd be cool.
Yes. All right.
Hope everybody has a wonderful weekend.
You do it. See you guys next time.
Perfectly excellent.